The battle over President Trump's pick for the Supreme Court already in full swing just hours after the president introduced his nominee, there you see in federal appeals court Judge Brett Kavanaugh, to a primetime audience as protesters and Democratic leaders rallied against his choice. Our Supreme Court correspondent Terry Moran has all the latest. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning, George. What a show that was last night, right? President Trump managing to keep the suspense going almost up into the last moment. And in Judge Brett Kavanaugh, the president has chosen a man who is both the epitome of the Washington legal establishment and a true blue loyal foot soldier in so many of the conservative legal causes and partisan Republican battles over the past generation. The Democrats have dubbed him the Forrest Gump of Republican politics. He just always has been there. He's also a man who has spent much of his career, it seems, taking aim at a seat on this court. To get there, he has to survive a bruising confirmation battle. A dramatic reveal overnight. President Trump, the producer-in-chief, breaking into primetime programming to announce Judge Brett Kavanaugh as his Supreme Court pick.
There is no one in America more qualified for this position and no one more deserving.
The conservative federal court of appeals judge on stage with his family praising the president.
No president has ever consulted more widely or talked with more people from more backgrounds to seek input about a Supreme Court nomination. Mr. President, I am grateful to you.
Kavanaugh was born and raised in Washington, D.C. He spent years in the legal trenches for Republicans, on George W. Bush's team in the Florida recount battle, then serving in key positions in the Bush White House. He was also on independent counsel Ken Starr's team investigating Bill Clinton, but later had second thoughts about whether presidents should be subjected to the burdens of prosecution and investigation.
A judge must be independent and must interpret the law, not make the law.
The man who could swing the balance of the court for decades faces a ferocious confirmation battle in the Senate.
I will keep an open mind in every case, and I will always strive to preserve the Constitution of the United States.
Republicans have a razor-thin 51-49 majority, and while a number of GOP senators expected to support Kavanaugh were in attendance last night, the two pro-choice Republican women who could prove to be the decisive votes, Senators Susan Collins of Maine and Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, declined their invitations. And the opposition will be fierce. Overnight, abortion rights defenders rallying against the president's pick outside the Supreme Court. Democrats and Republicans are just going to throw everything they've got at each other in this, and it's all going to come down to that handful of senators, just a few Republicans, a few Democrats, who are left in this partisan time right in the middle. George?
One break ranks. Okay, Terry, thanks very much. Let's get more from our legal team now. Dan Abrams and Kate Shaw. Dan, let me begin with you. We saw the president call Brett Kavanaugh the most qualified man in the country. Whether you agree with that or not, he is straight out of central casting for a GOP court pick.
And we also have an extensive paper trail, right? He's been a judge on what is viewed as the second most important federal court in the country, in the D.C. Circuit, for 12 years. Over 300 opinions. And so you're going to have people going through each one of his opinions and, most importantly, his dissents, where he disagreed with the majority on the key issues like abortion, religious liberty, guns, executive power. So we're going to know an enormous amount already about what Judge Kavanaugh thinks and would do when he's confirmed to the court.
And Kate, what Kavanaugh supporters already believe they know is that he will lock in that conservative majority on the court for a generation.
Absolutely. I mean, and I think on issues like Roe versus Wade, which of course is front and center already in the kind of brewing confirmation fight, I think there's very strong reason to believe that he could supply a fifth vote to overturn or at least to narrow the constitutional protection for abortion that Roe versus Wade first articulated. You know, he wrote a decision last year dissenting from the D.C. Circuit. The full court ruled for an undocumented teen in U.S. custody who wished to obtain an abortion, and he ruled against her, breaking from his court, suggesting at least that he holds a pretty narrow view of the protection that Roe versus Wade affords. So, you know, this is not abstract. We have some written documents on this.
But he has also spoken publicly about the importance of what's called stare decisis, meaning the previous opinions of the court and the deference that they ought to be shown. And if that's true, meaning if he really believes strongly in that, that could suggest that he wouldn't want to overturn Roe v. Wade. But this is the sort of analysis that we're going to see.
And that's where you're going to see senators pressing him on that, Kate. Also, we expect that Kavanaugh's time on that Ken Starr investigation is going to come in for real scrutiny, especially because of possible connections to the Mueller investigation.
Absolutely. You know, George, his record on this is mixed in kind of an interesting way, right? So he's participated in an investigation of a sitting president, obviously, but he's subsequently written things that suggest he's changed his view about at least the desirability of investigating a sitting president. And it's pretty clear, I think, both from his academic writing and some of his opinions that he holds a quite expansive view of presidential power. So when it comes to things like whether a sitting president can be compelled to testify, whether self-pardons are a possibility, questions whether the Mueller appointment is even constitutional. I think there are clues in Judge Kavanaugh's written work that he could be sympathetic to the president's arguments.
Kate Shaw, Dan Abrams, thanks very much. Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.